So welcome everyone. For those of you, if this is your first time, my name is Scott Dwyer. I am an AI business solution engineer here at Microsoft, my new title. You may have heard me introduced as a technical specialist before. We move things around this year. So PowerHug is the Power Platform Healthcare User Group that we run here out of our Microsoft team. It's a community for Power Platform admins, makers, and users to learn from one another. So we recognize after many years of helping people with Power Platform adoption that there are a lot of challenges. It's a very new muscle for a lot of organizations. And we try to bring those organizations together to try to learn from one another. This kind of spawned, if you've ever been to the Power Platform Conference in Vegas that we do each fall, approximately September, October, this spawned from a healthcare roundtable that we did, and it was a fantastic session. We got a ton of great feedback, and we've spun out a monthly session from that. So we're here the fourth Thursday of every month. If you're counting, this is the third Thursday, and that's because we have very special presenters today that didn't have availability next week. So we moved them up. We do put all of our sessions onto our YouTube channel at Power Platform Hug. The reason being, I know it's not easy always to carve out an hour in the middle of your week. So if you're looking for past sessions, including past sessions with Alex and Felipe, you can find them on the YouTube channel. We also do have a LinkedIn channel that QR code will take you to. Would love to see you join there. And if you have questions, feel free to post them there. We haven't seen that evolve yet into a true kind of forum for question and answer, but Randall and I are monitoring it. So we would love to see that as kind of our next step, where we have some ongoing engagement between our sessions in the month. And we have a link there for feedback as well if there's anything particular you'd like to see here. And of course, we always need presenters. We are short a presenter for next month, so we're putting together something. I can't get too deep, but it'll be something agents or agentic. But if you have an interesting topic you'd like to cover about your story with governance, a particular use case, ROI you realized, citizen development strategy, really anything and everything, we encourage you to reach out to Randall, myself, Liz, Tracy, any of the organizers you can find, and we'd be happy to kind of vet you and make sure you are prepared for the session, understand the expectations, and have a good feel for what you're getting into. So feel free to get in touch with us, LinkedIn, emails, however makes sense for you. And if you don't have one of our contact information, pretty much anybody at Microsoft will redirect you to us. So feel free to reach out. Upcoming events, I mentioned September. We're thinking it's going to be agentic. We'll get more details on that, so keep an eye on, especially if you follow my LinkedIn, I'm always posting about our upcoming sessions. And actually, that same day, we do have the Microsoft AI Tour in Chicago. So next month, you may see Randall hosting, as I'm actually going to be volunteering at the AI Tour in Chicago, September 25th. There's a link there that you can register for those sessions, or request attendance, I think is technically what it is. And the AI Tour is going to be all around the country, all around the globe. So I encourage you to take a look at that aka.ms link if you're interested in attendance. There may be one near you that makes more sense if you're not in the Chicagoland area. Of course, the Power Platform Conference is somehow just so rapidly approaching. It felt like it was so far away, and now we're just a couple months out. So October 28th to 30th with workshops kind of on the front and tail end of that. If you haven't registered yet, you can do so at the link, the aka.ms/ppcc. And again, we at Microsoft, I don't want to overpromise anything, but we do have the ability to help you with passes. So if budget or travel expenses are one of your issues, do get in touch with your Microsoft specialist or solution engineer. We'd be happy to try to find a way to get you there. And the week of, we host all kinds of events with our partners for happy hours, for networking events. So we can try to keep your travel and expense budget as low as possible by getting you some free food once you're in Vegas for the week. I will be there. Liz, I'm not sure if you'll be there this year. Are you going to be there? Yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So we'll
I
both
will be there.
Yep. And we're hosting another roundtable. Best part. So if you're going to be out for that, make sure you let us know. We do some know before you go sessions and things like that. Shortly after that, we'll have Ignite, one of our kind of couple times a year. This will be an in-person event as well as an online event. The online event will be free and available for everyone. This is a big one at Microsoft and a really fun one. Even if you can just catch like the couple of opening keynotes that Satya does, it can be a really fun session. So mark your calendars now. And today, I am thrilled to have Alex and Felipe back with us from Boston Scientific, talking about their citizen development at scale. My journey with these guys has been a long one. If this is your first time in the session with us, we've heard them talk about sort of what their plan for citizen development was, what their plan for this Affinity app was, and it's really in the last few months now really taken off. And they've been able to realize some of the value, and some of their plans have really come together. And today we're going to hear them talk about what they built, what they learned, and how they would kind of recommend you reuse some of the lessons they've learned. And I think it's a really unique opportunity to see from an organization that has been very intentional about promoting citizen development. A lot of organizations, it sort of happens. There's viral adoption, there's viral growth. A lot of other organizations don't know where to start. They don't know how to provide training. They don't know where to get, start this seemingly gargantuan journey. Alex and Felipe, I think, are going to tell a story that is a very repeatable pattern that you can utilize. And I look forward to hearing from them both. So with that, Alex, Felipe, please take over the screen, and grace us with your wisdom.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much. And thanks, Liz, as well for the invitation. So let me share my screen and just let me know if you can see it.
We've got it.
Perfect. Thank you. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. My name is Alex. I'm here with Felipe today. We are both working in the local development space in BSC, and we have been doing this for a while. I think it's been almost 2 or 3 years almost, and it's been great experience. I think what we are about to share today can definitely help you understand what are some best practices, recommendations, and just learn throughout our experience. Citizen development, it's amazing. We sell that idea to anybody that we talk to. With citizen development, you can really put the power in the hands of people and help them get what they need to basically innovate, be a workforce of innovation. And I think we definitely see that in BSC by itself. People are always looking for tools, always looking for opportunities to learn and grow. What we are going to be showing today is what has worked for us. This does not mean that it's going to work for you or for everybody, right? It's what has worked for us with the special characteristics that Boston Scientific has and with the availability of resources that we have. So we were presented here about a year ago about what our plans were. We were about to jumping into the implementation of this program. And now that we have already passed that go live period, we're very happy to show some of the results. But just before I jump into that, I would like to make some clarifications that I always like to do internally in BSc as well. So in Boston Scientific, we have the Citizen Development Program. Citizen Development Program is the enterprise-wide initiative that wants to empower local development through the secure enablement of local platforms, centralization of resources, and nurturing of citizen developers. So we basically want to take care of the two P's, the people and the process, making sure that both are in place so citizen developers can shine. There are many efforts around the Citizen Development Program. We work with quality, legal, communications, enterprise architecture, many other teams to ensure that the citizen developer operations are compliant, are good, everything is clean and in line. But there are two things that we will put some emphasis on today, which are the two strategies or tools that have allowed us to expand this program throughout the organization. The first one is Citizen Dev Academy. It's our 2-month learning program that it's designed to help anyone start, develop, or boost their skills. So we have designed this 2-month learning program, very objective, with all the vitamins that citizen developers will require to work with Power Platform, do it efficiently, responsibly, and be able to build something from scratch and get to the goal line. Sometimes we provide resources for people to be able to start, but then getting things to an end is quite challenging. So this program helps them go from end to end. And the second tool is Affinity. Affinity is the app where we manage development projects. We give them access to resources, and where they can also request support related to low-code development and Power Platform. So if you're thinking about the Power Platform COE, I would like to make a quick distinction there. The Power Platform COE is more of an admin tool. We design Affinity to be a customer-facing tool. So our customers or citizen developers, we design this tool in a way that it's easy for them to use, it can inspire them, and it's designed for them to find everything very easily and without much problem. Now, to give you an introduction to how citizen development looks like in our organization, I will hand over the word to Felipe. So Felipe, please go ahead.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Scott and Liz, for having us again. So, to start with this little story, I have to introduce you first to Charles and Daniela. So, Charles is a sourcing specialist at a sourcing COE, and he has heard about our platform before, but it's not really familiar with how to use it. Daniela, on the other hand, is a business analyst at GBS. She has built several apps with Power Platform and is always looking for opportunities to improve her skill set. So as you can see, Charles and Daniela depict both of the extreme sides of citizen developers. Charles barely knows about it, and Daniela has a little more experience with it. Okay, so Charles and Daniela, we identified that they are a very important source of innovation for the organization. Because, for example, people like Daniela have a lot of contributions. For example, they can automate team tasks, reassignment when someone is out of office, and people like Charles can build pricing metrics in Excel to accelerate their quotes creation process. So they can both generate different types of innovations, automations that can help their teams and their business units as well. So what we also identified is that all these people that can be identified as a Charles or a Daniela contributions produce hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in time and cost savings overall. So to basically bring down the terms of for citizen developers, we have defined them as innovative people that transforms their ideas into solutions with the use of low-code platforms. So if you have or are in this space and have worked with low-code platforms, you know that are intuitive development applications that require practically no experience in coding. And if you want to, you can use a little of coding, but that will make you just fine. And in our case, we used Microsoft Power Platform, of course, because it's what was flourishing in the moment and what was most known to the citizen developers at the time. So as you can imagine, they are indeed a very enormous source of innovation in the organization, but they also face several obstacles while they try to innovate. Because, for example, people like Daniela find or they have find a lack of support when trying to find it within the organization. Because, for example, when she looks for suggestions or online, they might not be applicable to the Boston Scientific's environment. And her contributions might not always be visible to high management members because there's not spotlight in the innovations that citizen developers produce sometimes. And Charles, for example, doesn't even know where to start because, for example, creating a low-code app seems like a really big challenge, even if they are used to using Excel before. Finding information is timely consuming on the internet, and finding support within the organization easily becomes a long chain of emails. So it's very hard for them to feel confident on how to use the platforms in the organization and knowing that what they are doing is the way to do it and they are not infringing any type of mm, not a good way to use data, for example. So what we are trying to achieve in a few words, it's to provide the architecture required by local development, to offer a wide learning program to boost innovation and growth, also centralize resources and allow their reutilization responsibly, and finally empower innovation, self-sufficiency, and digitalization across the organization.
Thank you, Felipe. So just to add up to what Felipe was saying, this section of the program was very, very important to us, defining what citizen development meant for Boston Scientific. And if you check the concept or the conceptualization of citizen development activities for us, it's a very inclusive and open terminology. You don't need to have any sort of technical experience. There's no real requirement for you to become a citizen developer beyond just having that innovative spirit. And that has been a very, very powerful statement to make here. It's very inclusive. With the first cohort of people that joined us a couple of months ago in Citizen Dev Academy, we had people of all ages, of all countries, um, languages, everything. Very, very diverse group. And it's amazing to see how much value you can get from having such a diverse set of people that are given the right tools to achieve these objectives. So how do you define citizen development, and what's the objective of enabling something like Power Platform in your organization? It's one of our main recommendations for focus areas when you're getting started on this. So as Felipe was saying, what we were trying to achieve with this program is the two P's again, people and process. So providing the architecture, process, centralizing resources, process, offering a wide learning program to help people grow, people, and empowering innovation, self-sufficiency, and digitalization, people again. So we're very proud that throughout the citizen development program, we are able to give our citizen developers the power to build, the power to automate, to create, and to connect. But of course, this sounds like very romantical and beautiful, but how do you actually achieve that? So for us, it was definitely giving them the power, putting the power in their hands, allowing them to have the resources that they needed to understand the process that they had to go through, and removing all those obstacles and unnecessary bottlenecks in their innovation process. And I'm going to use the word innovation a lot in here because I would like to put the emphasis on projects developed on Power Platform, with some exceptions, are mostly innovation projects. And innovation projects are very, very different from just operational projects. Innovation projects, you have to plant the seed, water it, take care of it. It's going to take some time, but it's definitely going to flourish, and it's definitely going to produce a lot of value. And we'll show you part of that today. But just before we jump into that section, I would like to show you how we are making those resources available to our people. And that's throughout Affinity, the tool that I was mentioning at the beginning. That tool is structuring 4 different modules. We have Development Hub, Low-Code Catalog, Training Center, and Citizen Wiki. So we prepared some slides to show you the tool, but we thought that it was going to be a better idea if we just share our screen and do a very risky live demo for you so you can see how it works. So this is Affinity. As I was saying before, it's structuring 4 different modules. As you can notice, it's a Power App that doesn't look at all like a Power App, which is something that was intentional from our end. We wanted to design something that they could see, hopefully get inspired, and think that they could do the same. So Affinity, as I was saying before, is structured in 4 different modules. We have Low-Code Catalog, with the objective of helping them save time and find solutions that are ready for them to customize or use. The Dev Hub, which is the place where they can ensure that they are building responsibly and they can collaborate with other team members. Training Center allows them to access exclusive content that has been developed in-house by Boston Scientific. And Citizen Wiki works pretty much like a Stack Overflows, is where they can find support from the community and help each other. It basically centralizes all those messages that sometimes get lost in different Teams channels, meetings, etc. With Citizen Wiki, you have everything in just one place. So let me show you the low-code catalog. This is the central screen of the low-code catalog, and it allows them to do three different things. Submit their solutions. If they have registered solutions in Affinity, they can choose to send them to the low-code catalog. They just need to choose the tool, use some name tags for other users to identify their app, upload the zip file, confirm their acknowledgement, and when they hit submit, that is then sent for review to us. We sanitize everything, review everything, make sure that no data is being shared through the low-code catalog, and only that which can be used for others for avoiding starting from scratch or duplicating solutions that already exist. So if we go to the main screen of the low-code catalog, which is finding a solution, you will see that there's a lot in here. There's a lot of Power Automate flows, Canvas apps, a couple of model-driven apps, a couple of managed solutions that they can use and find through the catalog. So they can search by description, data source, business tag, title, business unit who uploaded the solution. They also have a filter pane in the left, so they can select, for example, Power Apps, Canvas app, responsive Canvas app, and they will get those that meet that criteria. When they find an app that meets the criteria that they are using for search, they can click on Open, and that will open the solution profile. That lets them know basically who's the primary contact, secondary contact, category, subcategory, when was created, the approximate user number, its VIP potential, and if it's integrated or not with quality systems, which is an important aspect of Affinity overall. You can also check the data sources that it uses, the description that the person who uploaded the solution left. And if you want to acquire the solution, you can click on Access. That will show you step by step what do you need to do in order to import that solution into your own environment. This is part of what we design for the tool. You can see all the specifics that you agree to when you acquire a solution, and then get the copy of the solution. It works different for managed apps and managed apps, if it's a managed or unmanaged flow, but they get all the support and guidance they need throughout the tool. So you can see in the right-hand side, they can also leave reviews so others can basically know if that app does exactly what the person who uploaded the solution said, or if they recommend one approach or other for using it. So that's the main purpose of the low-code catalog. People who upload their solutions can then check and manage them if they want to update them or take it down, etc. They have control over all of that in here. In the low-code catalog, as of today, we have about 150 resources between managed apps, flows, etc. So it's a lot of stuff, and even way more in line to be uploaded. We honestly have a lot of work and to do on that space because there's about 400 solutions around organization that people have sent to be uploaded. So low-code catalog is very popular actually. So moving to Development Hub, I know this part is going to be very important and relevant to everyone who's seeing this call. One of the questions that we get all the time is, what's your intake process? How do you manage solutions? How do you make sure that people are following the right steps? What does Boston Scientific do to make sure that citizen developers are following the right standards? Some people think that a form just puts an extra step. It kills innovation. It's going to stop people from building. But what Felipe and I did is making sure that everything that we were doing for citizen developers, if it was adding one extra step, it was removing at least two. So with Development Hub, we are very proud to say that this process saves them days and even weeks in some cases from what they used to go through just for creating a new project. So main purpose of DevHub is allowing people to request support. So they can submit a variety of service support requests using the tool like Dataverse enablement or environment assignment, ownership change requests, for example. So they can submit all of that type of requests inside of the tool that is managed and received by this Power Platform support team. And they also have the ability to track their service request using the tool, see who has been working on it, if it's been completed or not, and the standard procedure for those type of requests. The part that I'm sure will interest everybody is how do they start and manage their projects. So let me jump into that. So in the projects screen, they can see all the projects that they have created. In Affinity, they can also access projects that other people has shared with them. So you can see that there's a lot of projects in here from all participants from Citizen Dev Academy. And if they want to start a new project, they can click on Create. And basically, it's a three-step process. The first thing is providing a name for their project. So one development project can have multiple solutions associated with it. So we can have, for example, the project Power Hub. You can pick a date for your project for when you're getting started, when you're expecting to complete your work, leave a project statement, and if it's already in progress, not started, completed, etc. So once you have created your project, the next step is registering your solution. So for example, this can be an attendance tracker. And you can also just know what is the business unit that this project or solution is going to be associated to. I can leave my name here as the primary contact. I'm going to pick Felipe for the secondary contact. And this is a very important section, which is the one that evaluates what's the level of integration that exists with quality systems, for example. So if I click Take the Questionnaire, I'll find a set of 10 different questions that they will need to answer in order for us to verify the quality systems involvement. They can answer with yes, no, or not sure. And depending on their response to all of this, they will get a different pop-up at the end of the process. So in this case, I'm going to say no, 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 yes, no, 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 and no. So when this is completed, you're going to see the pop-up that appears to them. You can also let know what's the expected user number, if there's any VIP potential yet, or if they do not know, they can leave one. Solution criticality and urgency are two things that we use to help link support requests with the solutions. So when they submit a support request, they can say this support request is for this solution. And since they have indicated the criticality and urgency, we will be able to know if that needs to be prioritized or not. So they can see descriptions of what low, medium, and high criticality means in each case, as well as urgency, and leave a description of their solution. The last step is classifying the solution. So if it's a Power Platform solution, meaning it contains multiple apps, flows, etc., they can pick Power Platform. If it's a Canvas app, like on this case, I'm going to pick Power Apps, Canvas, and Responsive Canvas app. There are resources where we provide them the description to what a responsive canvas is, what an embedded canvas is. So there's descriptions for everything. And data sources, they can indicate if they want to use SharePoint, Dataverse, etc. This also helps us a lot. It's something that we're planning to build for the future. So in the case that they pick a premium connector or that they pick a connector that we know is not enabled in our current DLPs, we have the opportunity with this to let them know immediately. This connector is not enabled, please submit a DLP exception request. Or this connector is a premium connector and we can identify that you don't have a license. So Please submit a premium license request. When they click on next, that process has finished and they can see guidance based on their project and solution profile. So this is the pop-up that I was mentioning before. In this case, since I have indicated yes in one of my responses, I got the prompt to fill out the ITSQ intake form so the team in charge of it can guide the citizen developer. They are also prompted to keep their project updated, to register BAP savings, and to share with team members, including their manager, so there's traceability over the projects. We haven't enabled this section yet, but they also get recommendations of solutions that already exist in the low-code catalog that they can reuse instead of creating one from scratch, or that they can just use components of it to accelerate or boost their development project. They also get posts that have been made in Citizen Wiki that may include things like matches description, categorization, or subcategorization with their development project. So once they have clicked on finish, they have way more stuff that they can do with the development hub. If they click on open their recently created project, they can update any of the information that has been provided before. They can go to solutions and see the solution that they have registered. They can even add new solutions to it. So if the project started with just the idea of building an app, but then it grew into needing a flow or something else, model-driven app, they don't have to create a new project. They just have to click on register a new solution, and they can again relate a project with multiple solutions at the same time. That saves them, of course, time with the compliance process that we're establishing. They can also track the requirements for their projects, things like requirements overview, acceptance criteria, dependencies. One of the sections that we like the most is planning. Affinity allows them to register multiple phases. They can track the start date and end date for those phases. They can track tasks for those phases and also add to-dos for those tasks. So it's a very Microsoft project type of experience, very familiar to them, and allows them to organize themselves within the tool. There's a section called BIP savings, which is where we track the impact of this project. So if they want to register what's the value improvement savings of their project, they can do it right in the tool. In BSC, we have a specific system which is used for tracking business value improvement savings. So what Affinity does is capture this information and then send it into that tool. That saves them time from going into that tool, record their project, and register the savings monthly. So again, we are asking them to fill that very friendly form at the beginning, but we're removing a lot of bottlenecks and extra steps from them, centralizing everything. As I've been teasing, they can also share their projects with team members. For example, if I want to share this project with Felipe, I just have to type his name and say if he's a developer, designer, solutions architect, or just a regular stakeholder. And if I click on add, then Felipe is going to be able to see this project in his share with me section. So he will get access to everything, the documentation, everything that has been registered for that project. So that's basically what the Development Hub does. We also give them a starter kit here, which is just a place where they can find tools that have been useful for other citizen developers, like PowerDoku, very good tool for producing documentation about solutions automatically. And they get access to all of that here. There's browser extensions, web tools, desktop tools, and yeah, I think that's it. So that's what Development Hub does. So if I'm a new citizen developer or a citizen developer that is starting a new project, I can come to Development Hub, register my project, check low-code catalog, see if there's something that I can use there, and make sure that compliance is upfront for me. What used to happen for us is that people built in the shadows. Then when they were ready to publish, they saw all the requirements and obstacles that they had to go through, but they didn't knew. So that obviously compromised the deadlines. It was a shame in a lot of cases. So with this, we are reverting that and putting compliance right up front for that. Training center is where we are centralizing the resources that participants of Citizen Dev Academy receive. So as I was explaining in the beginning, Citizen Dev Academy is a 2-month learning program that we design internally in BSC. And when someone wants to join the program, they have to submit a nomination. When they have submitted this nomination and they have been accepted, they get access to this section, which allows them to, again, have access to a lot of information about Power Platform. So Felipe will explain more about what Citizen Dev Academy is, but I just want to show you a little bit of the interface. They can check all the details about their learning plan, what self-paced modules they need to watch, what live sessions they will have. They can also play those self-paced modules directly within the tool. They can get support directly in the tool. They can pin those modules for watch later. They can provide feedback about each module. If anything is being used in the video, like Excel sheets or something, it's also provided on this section. And this interface basically allows us to control their progress. So we make sure that they are looking at the content in order and that they are not jumping from one topic to the other. We give them access to all of this through Content Library. So in Content Library, they can see all the self-paced modules that are available to them. You may see that some are blocked because they need to watch them in order. So they unlock as the next one unlocks as you watch the one that it's first in line. So that's a bit of training center, but again, Felipe will explain more about Citizen Dev Academy. We also offer open learning resources for anyone without the needing to enroll into Citizen Dev Academy. Some recommended YouTube videos, samples from Citizen Dev Academy, and GSM awareness training, which is super important. Moving into Citizen Wiki. Citizen Wiki, as I was explaining before, is like a Stack Overflow, but for citizen developers at BSC. Its main purpose is to allow people to share knowledge between themselves. And it's very, very, very popular in BSC. There's more than 200 and something questions posted. There's about 150 blogs that we have posted from the Citizen Development Program support. And you can see that just this Monday, someone submitted a new question. They are asking about sharing their app, but not wanting people to see the SharePoint list or getting that notification. So I already got a response prepared here. I can respond to questions. Anybody can respond and comment, basically. So this is how we provide them development queries support or responses. If somebody else responds to a question, the author is able to mark that response as the best response. So that will automatically put that at the top and yeah, let everybody knows that that's the right response. So in Citizen Wiki, again, anybody can post a question or post a blog. You post a question if you want to find help from the community, and you post a blog if you want to share your knowledge and experiences. So blogs are a very useful tool that we have used for sharing common known issues, things that they should know that are particular to our environment. In some cases, we upload photos. For example, here we teach them how to change the theme of their Power App, and they can click on the photo and see exactly how they can do that. Very important to highlight that if they are posting a question and they would like to add a picture to add more context, they can also do that. So yeah, Citizen Wiki, it's been great for us. And if a question has been answered, you will see a resolve banner in a resolve badge in the top right corner. That lets others also know that that question is already it's already responded. You can filter by post status, platform, category. The categorization of platforms, categories, subcategories is shared between Citizen Wiki, Training Center, Development Hub, Low Code Catalog, and the Power Platform COE. So we had the idea of just having a global solution classification that allows us to make Affinity smart. So when someone doesn't register their project in Affinity, we can verify that in the Power Platform COE and do a comparison to what we have in Affinity, what we have registered in the Power Platform COE, and do, of course, a reinforcement to ask people to register their projects. So this is a process where people get several notifications, and if they don't meet that criteria or if they don't meet the requirement, then their solutions are put in quarantine until they register their projects appropriately. So that's basically Affinity. Again, it's built for citizen developers. They can find everything that they need in here. The tool has been built with a lot of love and the expectation that anybody who uses dreams about building even something better. But for doing that, they need, of course, learning resources. And that's what Felipe will talk us about.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, that's where the Citizen Dev Academy comes in. So as we have been teasing, the Citizen Dev Academy is a 2-month learning program. And what we wanted to do is to develop a methodology or use a methodology that would help us and the citizen developers learn in the better and fastest way possible. So that's why we use the flip methodology. This methodology, what does is that it reverses the traditional classroom model. So instead of, for example, watching the classes with the instructor and then going to your home and do your homework, they watch the classes themselves, self-paced, and then they do their homework and apply what they learned with us, with the instructors. So that's basically flipping the traditional methodology of learning in a class. So what these videos and self-paced modules is what we call the foundational learning. So they access the structure for video contents in the platform, which basically is within Affinity when they submit it and then gain access to it. And then they have live meetings or live sessions with us twice a week. So they have the possibility to make questions, apply their knowledge, and learn something else from us as well. In these live sessions, they are 1-hour sessions twice a week, and they also have an optional Q&A session on Fridays if they want to expand more on their learning, or they have another set of questions. And also, when they enroll into the Citizen Dev Academy, they have to work in a hands-on project. So in this case, in this sense, we ensure that they go back to their business units, their teams, with something that can help them. So what they have to do when the Citizen Dev Academy cohort begins, they have to think in a way or in a project, a solution that can help their teams or their business units, so they can start working this 2 months. So there's also the Friday session that also works for solving questions on the projects or the learning that they might also have seen. And for example, here you can see that we cover topics from beginner to intermediate level of Power Platform. We have 4 different learning paths that go from Power Apps, Power Automate, and BI, and all of them have data management included within them, because what we thought is that if they know how to build an Automate or an application, they need to know also a little bit of the backend, the relationships that have to go within them, so the solutions work appropriately. So you can see that, for example, we start as a beginner as a Maker Portal or Power App Studio, just learning how to navigate within it. And we also go a little further, more like relationships in Dataverse, how to build data flows, also some Power BI DAX. It's a little on the basics, but also we know that it's not so known for people and might be complex. So we want to integrate that. And we also have some in the live sessions, some explanations that go a little deeper on how to use each platform that are the ones that are on white. For example, the first one, which is Canvas versus model driven. This is a question that a lot of beginners have. So we intended to create this type of sessions to basically solve all of those foundational questions that citizen developers can have. And so they begin and continue their journey having the best learning that we can take from ourselves and give it to the organization.
Thank you, Felipe. And yeah, for us and in Citizen Dev Academy, it was very, very important to um, acknowledge that this is learning for adults, and adults learn very different than children. So this flip methodology has helped us a lot. They can manage their own time, go through the self-paced modules. They need to watch a set of self-paced modules each week. Next week's live sessions usually build up on the content that they consumed the previous week. So they need to go week by week, watching the self-paced modules, completing certain exercises, and then they get into the live sessions where we expand into that. And as Felipe was mentioning, Fridays are more for questions and live project live support sessions. Um, this has been incredibly rewarding. Building Affinity was something that we are really, really proud of. But I think Citizen Dev Academy at this first cohort is what it's closest to our hearts. We had a group just 2 months ago of 41 participants. They were a mix of non-starters and starters, people from every single country, region, schedule. We had sessions in the morning, in the afternoon. It was very intense because, as Felipe was mentioning, we have 2 live sessions per week, one on Fridays. That was for Americas and rest of the world, and we had another group for APAC. So we are pretty much every single day giving sessions and support to people, but it really, really paid back. With the first cohort that we had, of around 41 participants, if I'm not mistaken, we had value improvement savings of more than $450,000. I hope I'm saying that correctly. $500,000 pretty much. So it was a lot of money produced by the projects that they built because they built them from end to end. And all of those are working solutions today. Not just that, but they have continued working on expanding those solutions after the cohort finished. So we are very happy that they have proven this model to be effective. And I have some quick examples. I know we're almost running out of time. Irfan Ali and Jack, they are both amazing. They were part of the cohort. They work for the global FinOPS team. And what they needed to do was basically a central portal where they could streamline how users request access to financial reports, feedback, basically a hub for their team. They used Power Apps, Power Automate, and SharePoint for this solution. And the objective was to bring transparency, more consistency, reducing errors and rework. And the impact of it is time savings that are up to 520 hours per year, which produces BAPs of around 20K, which is very, very good considering that both of them didn't know anything about Power Platform before enrolling into this program. We also had Marisa. She had a super complex business case. Their team was requested to fill out some templates that were horrible, those Excel sheets that you look at them and want to cry. And she wanted to fix that. So she did it building a Canvas app that uses some Power Automate flows in the backend. It also used SharePoint And the time impact was amazing. It was a lot of people involved into this, some management people. So the number of hours saved per year is 950, which is around 33K of value improvement savings per year. We also had Christopher Brenes. He had to build a competitor comparison report. It was a direct request from his director. And he used Power BI for that, as well as SharePoint. This was a completely new process that he was introducing, and super important, used by his director as well as other people. Strong business analytics and decisions needed to be taken based on this, and it produced an impact of 312 hours per year, which is about 10K of value improvement savings. These are just 3 projects, but we had 41. So it's a lot of impact, a lot of people producing solutions. And I think the project that has the minimum or the less value improvement savings, it's around 6K or 8K. So a lot of impact on these projects and amazing results for the cohort overall. So I always like to recognize all the people who attended the cohort. They were amazing. These are all of our change makers in BSC, part of this first cohort. Of course, they are all backed up by their managers, which are the amazing change enablers. So we always like to give them a shout out. And that's basically what Felipe and I have to share for today. So we really appreciate the time. Again, Scott and Liz, if there are any questions in the 6 minutes left, we'll be glad to go through that.
I think the main one from the chat has probably been addressed. I'm just curious. So a lot of times when I have customers starting on this journey, it's like the questions they're asking me are, what's the skill set I need to run this and how many people does it take? Could you guys give me some idea of like where you started from, like, were you brand new to Power Platform? And then is there sort of an extended team behind the scenes at Boston Scientific that you guys worked with to, build the app, launch the program?
Thank you. Yeah. When I get asked that, I always say that you need at least 3 people. You need an applications lead, someone that works like a solutions architect. You need a governance lead, someone who knows how to work with the Power Platform COE, how DLPs, admin center, even Microsoft tenant settings work at a high level, and someone who can dedicate some time to the learning piece of things like Citizen Dev Academy, for example. So that was the team that we started with. Felipe was working as the learning lead. I was the solution architect, and we had another person in charge of governance. So that was the initial squad. Then that expanded into more of a steering committee that included people from enterprise architecture, quality, legal, communications, or the director of global business services. Everyone was involved into this. And everyone wanted to have people in Citizen Dev Academy at the end. So it was quite difficult to manage that part. But yeah, that's definitely an extended team in the back. And it's very important to have that support.
Yeah, it's funny how I always end up saying, like, well, it might start with just a handful, but if you're doing it right, the team is going to be pretty nebulous, and it's going to be a lot of, 2 hours a week for a lot of different people, not a full-time job for, 25 people.
Yeah, definitely.
What about, I'm just curious, as your ideas come in, are you ever building, like, I saw the part where you added a co-developer to your application, but that looked like it was me, the maker, adding another, phoning a friend, if you will. Were you ever helping somebody that kind of had the idea, had the vision, but they needed a little bit more expertise? Or are they just using like the Affinity app to sort of ask their questions and get them answered? Or are you ever building those, we call them fusion teams? Are you ever kind of helping build the team around the idea as a part of this?
Yes, definitely. I think that was one of the aspects that we took some time to clarify for our leadership at the beginning. This is an spectrum, right? You have no code, low code, and pro code. So when you're in the low code area, but moving into pro code, then IT needs to get a little bit more involved. And we have a team here that it's a set of experts in Power Platform, a set of developers. So when a citizen developer has a project that they might not be able to finish, they can request that support, that people becomes part of the team and helps them get to the goal line.
Liz, any last questions before we sign off here?
Yeah, I think the only question I had is, I love the learning, the academy, the process of them going and building something, right, that you thought through that these are adult learners versus like younger individuals. Do you collaborate with your like the learning and development department within your organization, or is this something you kind of start to set up on your own?
Definitely, talent management. It's part of the has been part of the process, and we also used a lot of lessons learned from people who tried to do the same thing, but regionally. There was a team that tried to do the same. It was called Digital Belt, that was in Latam specifically, and we talked to them. They shared their lessons learned with us, and we used all of those insights to design the content that
Oh,
they
that's
consume in
great.
Citizen Dev Academy. Yeah.
That's great. Love it. And I see a couple more people popping questions in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. No, I think we're good.
Awesome.
This has been
Well,
great. Thank
thank
you
you
so
again,
much.
Alex and Felipe. This has been just so insightful and so cool. I've been excited to see the finished product Affinity app for many months since I first saw it, because I really think it embodies kind of a really necessary component. And we talked in the chat a little bit about some of the innovation backlog and nurture components that serve as a framework. But I say this with genuine affection. I haven't seen another organization or another customer make it their own the way that you two have. So just huge kudos. Thank you so much for all the work you've put into that app, the work you've put into this community, and everybody else. We'll see you next month, hopefully. If not, share this out with your friends on our YouTube channel. Make sure you find us on LinkedIn. We'll be back in September, probably talking agents. We'll be staring down the Power Platform Conference. So don't hesitate to get in touch if you have questions. You're thinking about presenting any and all things. We're an open book for you. And thanks everybody for taking some time today. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your Thursday and rest of your week.
Wait, just one thing, Scott, before we go.
Do
Alex,
it.
Felipe, will you be at the Power Problem Conference this year?
Not this year, not this year,
Okay.
sadly. But yeah, not
I was
this
like,
year.
because we were going to put you on a panel so everybody that's attending can get to ask you questions. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well,
Thank you very
maybe
much.
next year. All right.
Thank you
No
both
problem.
so much.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.